Coming to you from Strings and Things Studio via Independence, California, this is the Strings Unraveled podcast.
It's our mobile studio.
Yes, we've brought all of our recording equipment with us to
and
our
a bunch
little
of other stuff.
rustic retreat we're having, and we're staying at my family's little house in Independence, California, which is the tiniest town, to enjoy some nice scenic views of the Sierra Nevada mountains and get some sewing done and just, hang out. So, you guys having fun?
I have had a blast.
So much.
Good. This is our second day here, so we've done a couple of excursions and shopping trips and all kinds of fun stuff. So, normally what we do is we get what we're working on and what we've finished done first, and then we'll talk about the topic of the episode. But this time around, I think we decided to just start off the bat just talking about what we've done on our trip and some shopping that we got to do, and then that'll lead us into what we finished, because we all brought our sewing machines with us and have done some projects. So, yeah.
Well, it's been great fun. I loved, because I've never been in this part of California for any length of time. I think maybe when I was 5, we stayed at my aunt's cabin in Mammoth. So I have no memory of any of this part of the world. So it's been really lovely.
Independence was the town that we drove through on our way to Mammoth.
That's what most people know it as.
And we
it's
never
one of
stopped,
the towns that you drive through on Highway 395.
We didn't stop at Independence because usually by Lone Pine we really, really, really had to go to the bathroom. Yeah. And there's a ranger station and we had to get stuff. There's fun stuff for the kids as well as the bathroom. And then once we're done, we're on our way.
You would really have no reason to stop here unless you had a reason to stop here.
But there was a lot of fun buildings that looked like, we always talked about, we should go there sometime. But once you're packed up and you're ready to go home, you don't want to stop.
Sure.
I think it's fun that the county seat is in this tiny little spot.
Yeah, so this is the county seat of Inyo County, so that's, I guess, a reason that it still exists, because I'm sure it provides lots of jobs, for people who live around here. That, and there's a DWP plant, also in town, so that is probably the majority of the people who work here, and at the school. That's about it.
And it's not far from the best water in the world.
This water is wonderful. I tried to pack in water, and there was no reason to.
No, the tap water's good, because they bottle
delicious.
They bottle Crystal Geyser 40 minutes south of here, so you get pretty good water coming out of the tap.
It's wonderful.
Yep. So we're staying in Independence, but north of Independence, there's Bishop, which is you probably know Bishop as a town that exists. And there we went to a cute little shop called Sierra Cottons and Wools, which is a nice little quilt store, fabric store, and we got to do some fun shopping.
It is the cutest.
Yeah, it's a good store.
It was hard. I didn't restrain myself. I mean, I could have done worse, for sure.
I was going to restrain, but I found some really good stuff that I decided, you know what, this would make some great projects, and this is not something I can get at home. And I like supporting small local businesses.
We supported them.
We did support them.
I felt
I was pretty restrained. But
I supported more than I intended to.
You brought a project's worth. That's
Yeah, I got several projects worth. Yeah, it was fun.
Yep.
All right, who wants to go first?
About what they bought?
Yeah,
you go first.
I'm sure we should do a loot review, right?
Okay.
Right. So I bought a couple books. I need more project books, right? So in the store, this
you
is
got
not,
that one.
Yeah, I'm happy to share. It's to amuse Marabella mostly because she really loves making felt things. But it's a book called Felt Flower Workshop by Brianne Rajamanar.
Beautiful flowers.
They're
really
gorgeous.
Beautiful. They're not needle felted. They're
real.
cut felt.
Yeah, they look almost real.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a lot of fun. They had a lot of really cute samples from it. Look at this. A stitched and stuffed aloe plant.
Oh, how cute. Hey, that kind we can keep alive.
I have been doing fine with my plants. I know I get a little support from, I think Katie props it up every once in a while. Yeah. Look, Karen, it's air plants.
I killed an air plant.
But these you can't kill. For real.
They're forever. That's good. I need that kind.
I got another book. Which, do I need more knitting books?
Yes.
No. But it's so cute. Country
Weekend
you got
socks.
That one. Yeah, and they're all big, snuggly, worsted and DK weight socks.
Are you going to make that pair of knee highs?
On the cover are some Argyles. I have always been fascinated with making Argyle socks, so maybe.
If they're in DK, it should go faster.
Yeah, and there's some like really cute cabled socks that really kind of sold me. Of course, I'm not flipping right to them when I'm talking about it, but they're all like snuggly sit around socks.
Yeah.
Which are fun. Okay, so I got 2 new books. Woo! They'll probably sit on my shelf, and I'll make maybe something from them.
You'll
someday.
remember them one day and flip through it.
Yeah,
but that's not all.
I only bought 1 hank of yarn.
They had some good yarn there.
They had very good yarn.
Not a lot of it, but they have a nice little yarn room with some good stuff in it.
What they had was very good. I almost bought some Spud and Chloe Fine because I love that yarn, and it was only $10 a hank.
Oh wow!
Which I think is like $2 or $3 below what you usually see it at.
But
I did not because I'm just not in a sock knitting mode. I bought 1 Rasta in a colorway I have never seen, Malabrigo Rasta.
Yeah, that's cool.
Carousel. And I think it's like kind of, feels like this trip. It's got like a rich green, teal, and deep brown and bits of white because there's still snow on the mountains behind us.
Very pretty.
Which is lovely. I got this thing called a hexicomb, and they look like little hexagonal shells. So I'm going to make that for Mirabella because she's got all of, like,
I saw that in the other room, and they only had the
doodads.
one, and I was tempted to buy it, but I said, no, this is this is totally an Anne thing. Plus, it's by Wefty, and I like their tools, which are pretty cool. The Wefty, like for fabric weaving.
And then I got, so the owner of this store is called, what is her name? Berry Sue. Yeah, Berry Sue Godet. And she has a brand that they like kit up there in their store called Bare Roots, and they had like tons of like tea towels with cute embroidery, and then they had all this adorable felt stuff, which Katie warned us there'd be these cute felt kits.
They're like little candle mats.
But when you're on vacation, it is really nice to buy a kit of something.
If we had more time, I would have bought one to like work on.
Yeah, like
but
one
I knew
more day.
I wouldn't get to it while I was here, so.
So I could not resist, and I got a number.
The designs are so cute.
I want all of them, but I chose my favorite Halloween. So if you guys can look this up on her, like she has a website, yes, bareroots.com. And I bought number 150, the Halloween candle mat, and it's like little scaredy cats and a moon and jack-o'-lanterns.
So they're like
it's a candle mat,
kits, right?
Which I don't know if it'll be a candle mat. It'll be something.
It could be.
It's like I think I might use them more like a doily. I don't know.
Or like a cute little wall hanging or something.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yep.
Maybe a giant mug cozy.
Yeah. It might be just a project in a cellophane bag that I look at and think how cute that'll be.
Yeah.
No,
I got lots of those.
Then I got number 158 birthday candle mats, and it's a cream background with it says happy birthday to you and little confetti sprinkles of French knots. But I will definitely be embroidering Hippo Birdie to you.
And I would probably put a sheet of vinyl on it before I put the cupcake on it to give it to the
I
birthday
think I'll
person.
use it like as a birthday like I will use this one as a candle mat and be like, make a nice breakfast, put it in front of the person on their birthday, and light a candle to start their day. I've heard like people doing those kind of fun things. My birthday cake plate is ruined. I've had one for like almost 20 years that a friend gave me a birthday cake on, and they broke it.
We have a birthday cake plate that it's like something. I think it's called like the Red Plate Company or whatever, and it's a big red plate. It says your special today. And my grandma had one when we were kids, so when it was birthday, she'd bring it out on the special day cake. And now we have one because we found one at like the thrift store or something. But they still make them.
I'll have to look for that because I need a new birthday cake.
It's red with cute little hearts. It says you are special today. So you only get to use it on your birthday.
Which is like the happy birthday to you book.
Yeah, we've had a special birthday plate that we've had for 15 years, and we have never once remembered to actually bring it out.
Oh, we always use it.
No, I use that. Like I serve up the birthday person with their slice of cake on that.
Yep.
Those
my husband will be the
next
birthday, so we'll have to.
I'll remind you to get it out and use it.
Number 236, Eek Spooks. They're tiny felt pumpkins.
Those are so cute.
And then I bought the felt kit to go with each one because they have it all together. Yeah. And if I had remembered,
it's nice if you have felt, because I do have a lot of felt at home.
But it's like nice wool felt.
This is wool felt, yeah.
And I have really nice wool felt.
Oh,
yeah,
I don't. I have a lot of polyester
craft
felt.
store
Yeah.
felt.
No, I've got some really nice wool felt that I bought when I was making those felt books for kids.
Uh-huh.
But I just wanted a kit. I didn't want to have to go through my felt stash and wonder, do I have this color? Do I not have this color? Do I have to substitute?
Uh-huh.
I just wanted to let somebody else drive.
We like that.
So we'll see like what culture does soon, but I actually bought all my fat quarters to make fresh masks because I've gotten into like a rhythm of using disposable masks and I don't like that. So these are all.
What's funny? I'm just realizing
disposable
I didn't
masks.
see what either of you bought.
That's good.
So
Yeah,
it's
because
all
this
in
is
the
a little
price.
more fun,
I
right?
can see stuff that Karen has out. I'm like, oh, I didn't know you bought that. Okay, keep going. Sorry.
Oh, that's cool. So I just bought some cute fat quarters. One has yarn balls all over it. I
Very
will put
cute.
that to use immediately.
How
cute.
Yeah, and then these are just good. Like I got this cute one that's
Very
moons
autumnal
and wreaths.
colors.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't need them by autumn, but you never
Yeah.
know.
Well, actually, you know what? These all not that one, but I
You know,
have. So
if I have to go out in public when I'm not feeling well, I'm going to
Oh,
wear
yeah.
a mask.
I think it's going to be
Yeah,
a lot
I
more
think
That
it's
is going to
gonna
be
be a thing.
my culture.
Yeah.
now.
I am obsessed with doing because it's worked for me and work in past, and I think I might have mentioned this last month that I'm doing capsule wardrobes to organize my work wardrobe, and this works with my current capsule.
Oh, cool.
I may or may not have bought. I have a new pair of pants that are like a pea green color,
Ooh.
and they're like my favorite pants right now. And I found a fat quarter that coordinated, so when I'm wearing my green pants, I can wear my green mask.
I
that
like
goes with
it. I like it. Also, I just like these fabrics, so if I don't get around to making them masks, they'll just be something cute.
I need to make more cotton type clothing because there's a lot all over Instagram. People have their new dress or their new shirt or their new pants
With
and
their
their
matching-
coordinating mask,
Yeah.
which is totally cool.
Okay, so that's my loot from Sierra Cotton and Wools.
Well, mine is not that exciting. I
thought it was pretty cool.
It was very cute. I bought some fat quarters to make a quilt for a person who I think may listen to the podcast, so I'm not going to say what exactly they were, but I bought 8 fat quarters because they had lots of really cute ones.
Yes, they did.
And they may or may not have been already turned into something that I will talk about later. But that's all I bought was just the fat quarters.
Yeah, you were a real restraint.
Yep. That's it. Karen's turn.
Okay, so
I wanted to buy everything.
Yeah, sure, of course. It was all good.
Yep.
So we walk in, and of course I saw those little felt kits, but I'm like, nope, those are really cute. And I walked aside, and I looked at because she had yarn. I just want to kind of take it all in, and she had a couple different rooms you could look in, and I almost got some tea towels with the embroidery, but then I went back to the Bare Roots kits, and so I've got 3 little kits.
Once we learned that like they make them there and the owner
Then
is
it
the
was
designer,
like-
it
was
really made a
easy
difference.
Yeah, it was like
I was like,
appropriate to buy
okay.
it. Yeah. Because it's
This
like,
is
this
one
is
more
this
thing
experience.
that is special to this place.
I didn't know that because I've seen those before. I've been to the shop many times. I didn't
Yeah.
know that owner was so now I will definitely buy them.
Yeah. The tip off was they were putting together the
Oh, I
kits
didn't know that. I
in
think she was putting together.
Yeah, I could see in the back she's putting together the kits for the
a new
tea
tea
towels.
towel thing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
So I got different ones. I got number 197, Snug as a Bug candle mat. Did you see that one? No.
Snug as a bug. Show us. Oh, I did see you getting it.
It's got butterfly and bee and dragonfly and snail.
very
It's
cute.
just
Real
it's like on
cute.
a giant pink flower with green leaves.
It's
I should have bought
adorable.
the cat one.
Adorable.
They
I
had
thought
a
about
really
the
cute
cat one.
with little kitties with balls of yarn. I should have bought it.
I
But
almost got
good
the cat.
news, you
Did it
can
have
order
balls of
it.
yarn?
And I'm gonna be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's right. You will be.
I will be back here.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you guys want one, I'll come back. I can
Okay.
always pick them up for
Okay.
you too.
I might
that'd
want
be
the
awesome.
pumpkin one next time,
Okay.
but I should finish one before
We'll talk
I
about
can.
that
Yeah. Before I can have
you have a
another.
hookup though. I can always go
Sweet.
back.
Duh.
I'm up here pretty often.
So then I got number 154, the snowman candle mat, and it's really cute. It's got snowmen and like pine trees on a navy blue sky with little snowballs made from French knots all over the
They
place.
had
It's
so
really
many cute
so
holiday
many.
ones, and like lots of cute little Christmas ones.
Yep.
Yeah,
What's really
they were all
cool,
tempting.
does this come with a freezer paper?
No.
No, okay.
No, it doesn't.
But
So-
she offered us the freezer paper while we were there. If we
Yes.
had
If
we were
reminded
gonna
her,
use 'em,
yeah,
yeah.
she would
Yeah.
have given us a length of freezer
But
paper.
when you get the materials kit, it includes all the felt that you need, includes the DMC floss that you need, and if it like this particular one has white seed beads, so actually it looks like they're not French knots; they're little seed beads all over the place.
it
Oh,
come
and
with
that
the
might
needle?
be what mine is.
I wasn't sure if it had a needle in it.
It doesn't say. It
many
just
does
says
Baby
fabric
want?
and floss kit.
Oh, okay. Provide your own needle.
Yeah, that's okay. She doesn't actually on the list. It doesn't say needle, but clearly you need a needle.
The needle is implied.
Yeah.
So then I got this number 206 Forest Friends finger puppets.
It's so cute.
That one was so cute.
Maybe we'll talk later if you want to do like something like for like a mobile. Make a mobile out of it.
Make a mobile out of it.
For the friends that you're making things
like for a baby mobile. I gotcha. I was like, I don't know what we're talking about.
Because when we saw it, it was like a garland. They're finger puppets, but
And
they're
then
really
she said
adorable.
And it could be their finger puppets too. I'm like, what? Stop it.
They're cute finger puppets, but I don't want to give them to someone who's my little ones would have, of course they're all big now, but they would have put them in their mouths.
It makes a great
I
garland.
love the idea
But
that
it makes
you
an
will
amazing
talk to your children who are adults with these finger puppets once you make them.
That would be funny. Especially the one holding the nut. But it's got an owl and a rabbit and a bear and a squirrel and a tree. It's adorable, but this would make a fun baby mobile.
That would be very cute.
You had a question?
No.
The other thing, so I decided. So my husband had years ago. I had made the Brooklyn tweed cowl that is mostly like welts, where it's like,
oh yeah,
and it goes at a diagonal, and he loved it. And then one morning while commuting, it got put on the train and didn't get picked up, and even though he remembered like within 3 minutes, it was gone. So, and it has not been replaced. I'm not going to do that pattern, but I did find some stuff that I'm going to do to make a new one of something for him. New. So Queensland Collection, she had this yarn. It's just a single skein that has, I want to say, where's the yardage? It's 190 yards of cotton acrylic, and it changes colors, but it's almost like it's like a chainette construction, but with multiple chains of color, like stripes, kind of going in and out. It's pretty cool. It's called cairns.
No, like when you do, like, it has a subtle self stripe, but it also has like a gradient with the striping.
Well, what's weird about this one is that the chainette has two columns of stitches, so it's not like it's a chain, but with different stripes.
Fractal. That's fractal coloring.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's very pretty.
Well, what's cool about this one, I know I just noticed it. It's cairns, Kairns, and the reason why that's interesting is because when I was in high school and I was in protection against my mother, and I had to miss school for 2 weeks. And I was in a class that was a 2-period class. It was like literature and throughout American literature and American history kind of combined. And it was taught by the teacher at the time was from the Appalachians. I'm saying it right now. And when I walked in, I finally was cleared to go back to school. I walked in partway through, and he's like, "Cairn, you have come home." For a while, he would call me Cairn because, okay, so a cairn is like a grave marker.
It's a Scottish word.
It's a Scottish word, which
that's the way he said it,
Yeah, but it's like a grave marker. And for a while, he would call me Cairn, which is kind of depressing. But
come back to life.
He also called me Whiff and Poof. What does that mean? Okay, a Whiff and Poof is an old drunken sailor song that they would sing.
A Whiff and Poof is a drunken sailor song.
A whiff and
not a shanty.
No. It's
I'm familiar with shanties.
Okay, a Whiff and Poof is a song of longing for home that drunken sailors would sing. But the thing that came to mind was the song like in Jaws when they're drunk and they're like, "Show me the way to go home, boom, boom. I'm tired and I want to go to bed." Yeah, that's a type of Whiff and Poof.
No, I know.
Anyway,
I always just thought it was a shanty.
Yeah. Well, shanties are for working. This is for afterward.
This is for drinking.
Yeah.
This is for drinking. So to go with this, I thought they have these really, really cute bobbins. They're like really kind of fat bobbins of silk mohair in these really rich, deep colors.
They're such a cute presentation.
Yeah,
I wanted
and
to buy them
it's
all.
called 50 mohair shades, and she probably had most of the 50 because it's amazing. This is by Katia Yarns, and what I would do is I would let the mohair stripe. And subtly change color in whatever this thing that I'm gonna make for my husband, and he doesn't listen, so I don't have a time limit for when I have to finish this. And then I bought fabric. I bought fabric for a pattern by Strawberry Quilts Patterns or Strawberry, but it's called Petal. I'll look up later. It's Petal something. I had it on my phone, but I don't have my phone open right now. And it's 4 colors. You need about 1.5 yards of 3 and 1 yard of 1 for the top.
This is you said a quilt?
Yep, it's gonna be a quilt. And I got a mix of batiks. Ooh. So my darkest color is this dark blue batik with little flecks of like a pale blue and maybe a sky blue, and then I have a really rich teal hashtag kind of look to it. I've got the third, if we're going dark to light, is kind of a dark mint, but it has like a paisley, like a brown paisley.
It's almost gold.
You
Maybe
would
it's
think
just the lighting.
I think it's just the lighting. When you look at it, it's because it's bits of light and dark. Brown and beige.
Almost like a metallic kind of look to it.
Yeah, and the beige is almost a purpley brown. But, I love paisley. And although I wasn't paying attention to the fact that it was paisley, I was like, oh, that's pretty.
Bonus.
And then the lightest one is more of like a tea-stained green. Not green. Tea, like
a sand color.
Like a sand, like a tea-stained sand kind of. And it has like just a fern or it actually reminds me of like the outer lines of a seashell.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, that's going to be a quilt. Cannot cut that out or even get that ready until I finish other things.
I forgot to mention my fabric.
Oh, and bought fabric.
Yeah, I got I split this with Karen. It's a
that's right. I forgot about
that.
But I didn't buy it. So
panel that they had done up in a quilt, but I don't want to do that.
It's really cool.
My daughter was poring over maps the day we left, and I think it'll make just a cute pillow for her.
Very cute, like map of the United States.
Yeah,
it would be a perfect pillow size for her.
Oh, it would be a really cute pillow.
They had it as a center panel with lots of like 5-inch charm squares, but they sold it as fabric. But I'm like, I can just get the charm squares at home.
Yeah.
And I got this insane flame fabric that will be a shirt for Dante. It's like looking into a burning inferno.
If you want to cosplay as Guy Fieri, you need that fabric.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is like...
You need like a bowling shirt with that as like a panel.
It's some of the best flames though because they're like realistic.
It's got a lot of depth.
Yeah. They're not cartoony at all. And then I got the cutest little like pink and black houndstooth cotton. And another one that's these like hilarious little cat heads.
That was not fabric you brought? Dots. That was stuff you got there?
Just that, yeah.
You guys are so productive, which we'll hear about later.
I wonder if what you finished has many pieces as some portion of what I finished, though. Probably. Like piece count.
Yeah, there's a gazillion pieces in what I did, so.
So that's all we bought, and then we went and ate, and it was good. Shots.
Your first
bakery.
Time being at Shots.
Yeah.
You're no longer a Shots virgin.
No. It's
their pickles are so good. Yeah, I think it's
a Danish bakery. They have so many good treats, but really good sandwiches, so we had that for lunch.
And for those of you who have to be gluten-free, their turkey leg is amazing. Just don't let them put gravy on it. Just a simple plain turkey leg. It looked good. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
But
they have like a huge bakery. They also have lots of like jams and pickles and all kinds of stuff.
Even though my family didn't go with me, they sent me with a shopping list, knowing that we'd go to Shots. So I brought a bag of baked goods and cookies and other things home, and a pie.
Yep.
Gotta bring the pie.
I couldn't take it all in. It was like
it's overwhelming.
So much, but all good. So I got some like flavored jams and their signature bread, right? The sheep herder's bread.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yum.
I actually picked up sourdough because I know that is a family favorite.
A crowd favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was yesterday. We went shopping. We came home. We sewed. And then today we went back out in the morning and we went to
one other little shop. We went to Ben Franklin's.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the last
We were
Ben
gonna skip Ben
Franklin's.
Franklin's.
I forgot.
And then
we
we
went to
walked
Franklin.
Well, we were walking
Then we
by
walked
to a
by.
car and it said 80% off. I'm like,
Entire store, yeah.
The entire store. That made me real sad because I
It
remember
was very
going in
sad.
there when I was a kid with my grandma, and like I'd pick out some kind of project, or I'd buy like a comic book or like a sticker book or something like that. So I've been to that Ben Franklin's many times.
Aw.
So it was a little sad to see that they were closing. Tomorrow I think is their last day, April 30th. Well, when we're recording
You're right.
tomorrow
Yeah.
is our last day. So yeah, we hit up Ben Franklin one more time. I bought a quilt pattern, and it was like a $5 minimum to use your card, and with 80% off, I wanted this one quilt pattern. That's all I really wanted. I bought some like cheapo aluminum knitting needles because I figured I might use them, or I'll stick them in my stash, and it doesn't matter. So we did that. That was yesterday. Today we got an earlier start, and we went to Lone Pine, which is south of Independence. It's a smaller town, but it's well, not smaller than Independence, smaller than Bishop. It's like famous for like as a movie town. They film a lot of or they did back in the day, lots of westerns and B westerns and some bigger like more modern movies too. But we did a tour, like a little driving tour of the Alabama Hills, which is like a geological rock formation kind of thing.
It was cool.
Drive around. It's very pretty. It's a lot of fun to look at, and you can see the big pretty mountains in the background. So we did that. We drove around. Then we went to the Lone Pine Film History Museum, which I always recommend if you haven't, or if you're on your way, or if you're stopping by or whatever. If you haven't been, it's worth going in. It's a nice museum. They have lots of like memorabilia and props and costumes. And
It was very fun.
you learn a whole lot about the film industry in Lone Pine. And then we went to...
If you're a fan of Kevin Bacon.
Oh, yeah,
Tremors.
They filmed Tremors.
Was there.
The classic 90s cheesy thriller movie.
Best part of the museum.
I know, that's my favorite part of the museum. They have a whole, like
the puppets and stuff.
Yeah, what do they call it? Like screen used prop of the monster. So it's very fun to see. And then we went to lunch at the Alabama Hills Cafe, which is one of my favorite stops.
Oh, it's really good.
They got really good breakfast. It's better at breakfast time because their breakfast is really good, but you can get it all
they're
day.
only there till 2:00 right now, so.
But I always recommend people go in there if they can. Also, just to like stop by and get like they have beautiful baked goods.
I know, more wonderful baked goods.
Yep.
I don't know when I'm gonna have room to eat what I bought though.
Yeah, I had my treat for my afternoon break from sewing today.
I was still stuffed from lunch.
Yep. And then we came back and did some more sewing and hung out, and Karen made us a delicious dinner. And made us a delicious dinner yesterday. I'm blessed that my partners enjoy cooking because I don't. And
Katie made us a yummy dessert.
Oh yes, I made a cobbler last night.
Oh, her peach cobbler was so good.
I think we brought
she made it gluten free, and I feel very loved when people do that.
Of course.
I know that you can do a lot of good baked goods, but I was like, we brought our best.
Yes, it was very good. I have s'more stuff for tonight if you want s'mores. I didn't make them, but I could assemble them.
I'm still pretty full of
yeah, I'm like, I don't know about that.
I'm stuffed. And we have leftover cobbler from last night too. We could eat.
I think that's good.
It might just go in the pantry.
Want more cobbler.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna head home tomorrow, but we got lots of good sewing time in, so why don't we get through what we're working on, what we're actively, like what's in our hands. So,
yep.
And what are you working on?
I am working on 2 sweaters and neglecting all other unfinished projects.
Love that.
I am doing the Divide pullover by Emily Green.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And then I'm also working on Watershed by Jacqueline Cieslik. So I have
Water Bear.
What did I call it?
Watershed.
Okay.
It's Water Bearer, right?
It's Water Bearer.
I don't know where you got Watershed, but I was like,
I don't either. That's not
Water
what I meant. So I have this awesome color of I don't did I talk about like reclaiming this yarn?
Oh.
No? Okay. It's Anzula Ava. They're sport weight.
Okay.
It's a colorway she calls Misfit, which I am sure It's
Oh,
purple
that's
pop.
pretty.
Yeah, we
Like,
have this.
I
one
mean,
color.
applied artfully.
We have this one dye from Dharma, this like powdered dye called Purple Pop. It's our favorite, and now you can like eye it in other people's dye, and you're like,
And
it's Purple Pop.
it's like the best thing. It's like
It's like
It's
like
a neon
saffron,
fuchsia,
you know?
yeah.
It's like some special spice that just makes everything come
Yep.
together and it's right.
But the color
But
is
this
not
is
saffron.
all no, it's
No.
not. Yeah. This is all that special spice.
It's so good.
So I had started the Divide pullover in this yarn like a long time ago, 4 or 5 years ago. And that's actually like the second thing it was going to be. And I don't remember what it was supposed to be before that, but I know I ripped something out that I didn't finish. And I was squeaking by with enough yarn, and now I need a different size. So it can't be that thing anymore.
Uh-huh.
So I ripped out what I started on Divide, which was about 6 inches of the front. And if you look up this pullover, it's a Brooklyn Tweed Wool People. Did you say number 8? 11. So Wool People number 11. It's a 39-page pattern to print.
Whoa.
Because there's a lot of charts. So it's not like hard technique
No,
per
that
se.
might put me off.
Well, there's like it's twisted rib, and you send the twisted ribs on these teeny little cables so that they start to like divide.
Yeah.
So they kind of veer off east and west, and then they come back, and it's just very pretty, and it is really fun to make. It's like super engaging. So they seem to rate their patterns like on a 1 to 5 scale, and this is all 5.
Yeah.
So it's not a beginner level sweater. There's some intricacies in the shaping, but I think the page count is mostly the charts for the front and the back.
It is.
Yeah. So I decided, I ripped that out, and then I immediately started this sweater again in a different yarn, which is Must Be Merino, but it comes from Hobby Lobby. It's like $7 a ball, but it was 30% off. So it's very inexpensive reinvestment in making this project.
Uh-huh. It'll have good texture though.
It feels great.
I've used that yarn before for like a baby sweater. It was great. It's good for color work.
And I think I'm going to, this will be a sweater I want to wear a lot because of the amount of work it's going to go into it.
Yeah.
So I've got one sleeve done. It's the
Nice.
most boring sleeve I've ever made because it's like on size 3s, but technically I think this is worsted weight at 227 to 100 grams, but I'm knitting it on a size 3.
It's a very unusual shape. I'm looking at the shoulder.
Yeah, so
Is it like a saddle or?
it's a raglan, but it has left and right shaping to cup your shoulders.
Huh.
That looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's reverse stockinette stitches.
Yeah.
So
Yep,
it's
so the pearl
raglan,
side's
but
showing.
with the shoulder cap
Yeah.
shape.
Yep. And here's the insane thing. I'm making a sweater in 4 pieces.
Yeah, what the heck?
I can't think of the last time I did that. But this is so pretty and so worth it.
Isn't it sometimes nice to work on just fewer stitches instead of having everything all together? Just once in a while.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm like thinking about it because I've also super complicated my life because there's 3 distinct dye lots that I'm working with. So I'm trying to 1 ball of one, 2 balls of the other, and then the rest of the sweater is all the same. So I'm trying to get rid of that dye lot issue in the sleeves as much as possible. So
So that's why you started on the sleeve.
yeah,
first.
so it's like a little. It's still like I don't know if it's not fun because it's in pieces and I know I have to assemble it.
But
or
you
it's
can't
ball
see.
management.
It all looks like it's continuous color. It doesn't. It's so well blended. It doesn't look like it's different.
I'm doing 1, 2, like A, B, C. So when you set that up, 1 row of A, 1 row of B, 1 row of C, the color you need is on the side you need. And so then you can do a 1 row stripe to like super blend it.
Uh-huh.
And also you're running your thread up on, or your yarn up on either side, and so you don't just have one side that's being pulled on from carrying up threads. So it's good for the fabric, I think. So those are the 2 things I'm working on. Water Bearer is kind of an intense start because you do
it's like brioche
right away, and it's a shaped brioche to create this really pretty wave pattern.
And her patterns have lots of options too, so it's kind of like choose your own adventure,
right?
Probably.
And sort of set like, I'm sure once I get set on the path, it will be very smooth.
you do have to sit and make some decisions in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it's not. The one thing I like is once you've decided the shaping or whatever, because like Kay said, she gives you options. Once those are dialed in, you just go.
Except for if you put the sweater down halfway through, like I did on my Rift tee, and I picked it back up, and I couldn't remember what decisions I had made.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm like, am I doing bust starts? I don't know. Did I do them? Am I doing it? Yeah.
I'm really trying to take better knitting notes as a rule.
Yeah.
Like I did a whole bunch of weird stuff on the sleeve where I like missed where I was reading in the pattern, but it turns out it's going to fit me fine. So I need to duplicate that now on the second sleeve.
Write it
down. So that is the main stuff I'm working on.
Nice.
Like that's a pretty short list.
Yeah, we're not necessarily counting all the things that are back at home at the studio or whatever.
Well, I'm not even thinking about those things, honestly. Well, I'm really only thinking about these 2 sweaters anyway.
There you go.
Are we just talking about the things that are with us that we're currently today doing?
If you want, yeah, you could talk about.
Plenty.
Yeah.
Well, what are you working on then?
Well, I repurposed some yarn from another project to make Deshane by Leela Raven, and it's a front and a back and 2 sleeves, and they are pieced and then sewn together. I think the sleeves are picked up and worked in the round, but the rest of it is just worked flat, and it's worked with originally it was intended for like a worsted or Aran weight cotton linen blend, which is not easy to find. But I happen to have stash of 100% cotton that was a ribbon tape that's more on the Aran weight version, and so I'm repurposing that and working on that, and it's pretty quick. I mean, I started a week ago, and I thought I finished the front. I'm gonna take a little bit back and do another repeat. It has this really pretty variation of feather and fan panel down the center front. And
what size needles are you using?
10.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty fun.
Well, see, the previous sweater was 10s.
Uh-huh.
And for whatever reason, I just couldn't motivate myself to finish it. And it was a simple thing. I think I didn't want a cardigan at the time. This is a pullover that I intend to wear it over like a sleeveless dress or a light
t-shirt.
Like a tunic
or something.
Something like that.
You don't have to justify yourself to us.
Nope.
It's just nice to repurpose because I really, really love the yarn. Sometimes the two, you love a yarn, and you love a project, but the two don't go together.
Sure.
Or maybe you don't love a project, but you really love the yarn. So I'm really happy to repurpose this yarn. And it's a gradient, so I'm actually paying attention to where I put stuff. But
this yarn looks perfect for this project
because
it
totally
has the gentle color change to keep it interesting, but it's not distracting from the pattern.
It's a Barocco yarn?
It's Estiva.
Nice.
And it is a gradient. It's a big cake of yarn, and it is like such a gradual change. You don't know until you look back on your knitting that you changed colors. You're like, oh, look at that. You didn't notice it. Yeah. It doesn't do this. Some great gradient yarns are kind of stripy. I know Knit Picks tends to be more stripy. This particular one, and it's got a nice hand, even though I will say this, it's a chain construction, even though it's cotton. And I ripped a sweater that was 85% done out. And it couldn't be happier.
Well, it'll be worth it.
Yeah. And then I'm working on a quilt project that we were working on here. I had a quilt that was tattooed. It's all foundation paper piecing that I was working on. And I've had a couple that were in process, and so I spent more time packing for these and trying to limit what I think I could do on the trip than actual clothes. I just threw a bunch of clothes.
Like,
whatever.
Unless you're Anne, and then she coordinated all her dresses with sweaters.
She totally did.
I did get to wear 2 handmade sweaters. Well, 3 because on the way here.
It's too bad we're not here in the winter because that's like perfect time for showing off your sweaters.
But I had 2 cute short sleeve sweaters and knit dresses to wear them under.
Plus your cardigan.
Where did that go? Yeah, the sweater over the dress.
Mm-hmm.
So I wore Rattlesnake yesterday because you may recall that I promised to wear it in front of Kitty as much as possible
because I still want to make
encourage her. Yeah.
It's also pretty appropriate for, we're in the high
Right?
desert, not like, there's not cactuses,
No,
rattlesnakes,
but,
still
it's
appropriate.
deserty. Yeah.
It had Joshua trees and scrub.
Which we saw on the way here.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then today I wore Jupiter.
Yeah.
Which
Jupiter Crop? Is that
Jupiter
the name of the
Crop.
pattern?
Yeah.
It's a good sweater.
What's her name? Caitlin
Caitlin Hunter.
Yeah, Caitlin Hunter. Which I finished ages ago. I pulled it out of the studio and I was weaving in ends on the way here, thinking I had to do all the ends. And thankfully, I had only stopped with one sleeve to go. So I only had to weave in the ends on one short little sleeve. It was a delightful surprise. And what did we call that? I body blocked it by wearing it today.
Yeah, the warmth of your
looks
body.
fine.
Yeah.
It will benefit from a real blocking.
Yeah.
As all
Just like
color work
everything.
always does. But it was nice to wear today. And I wore my favorite that I seem to talk about every episode, my red scrapper cardi on the way here, because it was chilly. It rained,
was stormy on the way up here,
and snowed in the mountains on the way here.
It really is like box of chocolates weather sometimes up here. It's like it could be stormy and raining, or it could be hot and sunny, and like all throughout the year it's like that. Especially 4th of July, it's pretty, because we come here for like our family reunion for 4th of July. You're almost guaranteed to get like a tiny little weird rainstorm. So yeah. That's why I was telling him what to pack, and I said bring layers, because it's cold in the morning. It was warmer today than it was yesterday, but you never know.
But it's been very nice. I mean, like, still
I was sitting outside
mild.
this afternoon. Karen was cooking dinner, and Anne was, I think, still sewing at that point, and I went outside to like sit, and I was working on a crossword puzzle, and it was like the best, most perfect weather. It was nice and still. There was like a tiny little breeze. I was sitting in the shade. It was like I was living the good life.
See, I didn't get, because I always thought Independence was just a city you travel through.
Sure.
But until I got here, I now this is like the best, most chill vacation ever.
That's why
you just come and you go see something if you want, but it's beautiful weather. It's just really relaxed.
There are lots of things
it's
to
cozy.
do.
Yeah,
people will ask like, "Oh, you're going? Like, what are you gonna do? Do you guys fish or hike or whatever?" I'm like, "You could. I'd go to sit."
And it's beautiful outside, and they've got these great big trees.
It's a good place to read a book.
You can't beat the view from the backyard.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking at high mountain peaks that are topped with snow while I'm enjoying
through like beautiful trees, and
sitting outside in the shade, working on the cross stitch that I brought.
Yeah, what cross stitch are you working on?
Okay, so I've been working on the Christmas wreath, and I finished a clue. I'm starting on the next clue. Am I with the group? No. If I finish a clue before I start the next clue. But to be fair, I'm working on 3 cross stitch projects. So, and I am working a little bit on each one each time. So, and I did I talk about the Cozy Cafe one last time?
I think you did.
I'd finished it, and I was waiting
for the next clue.
I was waiting so much for that one that I completely forgot about the Christmas wreath one. I'm a couple clues behind, but whatever.
These are both frosted pumpkin?
Frosted pumpkin stitchery. Mm-hmm. In fact, all 3 of my things are frosted pumpkin. One of them is Halloween Town.
Cute.
That I started last fall. I'm like, oh yeah, that one. It's on linen, so it's not. I have to have good lighting, and I cannot have a migraine, which I've had a lot lately, because I have to be able to see without hurting my head. Sure. So this is why most of what I do is on really nice Aida cloth. But the new clue came out, and I've been restraining myself on the Cozy Cafe. I can't do that till I finish the thing that's in front of me. And it helps because I don't have a lot of different frames. I intentionally finish this clue before I take it out to do.
And don't let yourself buy a new frame.
No, I do have 2, but I've got 3 projects. So
there you go.
That's one of. I got to rotate. So.
Sure.
Anyway, that, and like I said, the quilting project. We'll talk more about that when we get to the next segment.
I brought 2 knitting projects with me because I didn't, want to run out. I might finish something. I never do. So I was working on yesterday a baby blanket. Hold on, let me grab it. The pattern is from Pearl Soho. It's called like the Chevron baby blanket. It's a free pattern on their website, but it's double-stranded.
What yarn?
I'm using Spud and Chloe's sweater. The pattern
It's
calls,
good yarn.
The pattern calls for
It's double.
Yeah, the pattern calls for blue sky organic cotton in like 7 different colors.
Oh.
But I had enough of these 2 colors. It's like a navy blue and like a appley limey green. It's almost more like a sapphire blue. It's not that dark, but I've had this yarn in my, not even my stash, in my storage unit for a long, long time because I had started a sweater for myself like many, many years ago.
Anacapa days?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It could be 10 years, no?
Well, no.
3 years out of Anacapa.
I started it when I lived in Ventura, which would have been 7 or 8 years ago, probably. No, wait. Hold on. Let me think about this. We moved to Ventura after we got married. So yeah, it's probably 8 or 9 years old. Like you cared how old my yarn was.
But, no, it's kind of interesting. I think it is interesting when you rediscover perfectly good yarn that has been pushed aside.
I was a little concerned.
And you give it new life.
Because it has been in my storage unit in a plastic tote that was not like well sealed. It was like one of those little plastic drawer things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I wonder like in what condition I will find all of my yarn. And none of it was it was all serviceable. I didn't have holes or anything in it. So I ripped out the sweater that I had started because I knew I wouldn't wear it nowadays. It's a little like I was doing like stripes of the 2 colors. It would have been a little sporty. For my current style, I really liked it back when I had started it, and I always intended to go back and finish that sweater because I really liked it. But it'll serve as a new life as a baby blanket because it's nice and soft and cozy.
So when you rip yarn out of a project, when you cannibalize a project, do you rewash that yarn and
do you see how curly my yarn is?
Do you?
No, I did not.
So,
I also did not.
I thought about it.
It depends.
I thought about it because I had another yarn in my storage unit that it was like part of a project that I ripped out, and it had been crocheted and it was really kinky. So I did wash that. This one I pulled it out, and because I'm on such big needles, I'm using size 11s.
Yeah.
And it's double stranded. It really hides the texture, and it's in garter stitch, so it wasn't really necessary.
Well, because
I'll block it after it's done, and it'll be fine.
Yeah, with this one, because I went from a project that was 10 to 10 and a half. They're almost the same. What little crinkle part was about the same.
It'll block out.
Yeah.
And this one actually didn't crinkle. Maybe because it's a ribbon tape.
Yeah. I'm on my
Ribbon
1,
yarn.
2, 3,
Tape
4,
yarn.
5, 6th stripe. I think I'm going to do 9 stripes to make it a good length. Otherwise, I could do 7 stripes. It'll be square, but I think I'm going to keep going and do 9 stripes because I have 9 balls of yarn, and each stripe takes like a full ball.
Nice.
Oh, perfect.
So that's
Odd numbers are good.
It goes real fast. I mean, if I sat down, I could do a stripe in a sitting. It's because it's on big needles, so that won't take me a whole lot longer. I have to count though, so I'm not working on it right now because I can talk and chat while I'm working on my mini Rainbow in the Storm.
Oh, that's what that is. I was looking at that when you're in, like, oh, but this is like.
So it's hard to tell because these 2 purples.
Is it like a
similar.
snowstorm?
It's
a rainbow in a snowstorm.
Sure. The original pattern has a black background. I'm using white for this because I'm making it for my niece who's obsessed with rainbows. She would have liked it if it was black too, but I think she'll like it better with a white background. So it's white, and then I'm using 7 colors of minis that Karen gave me for my birthday.
Oh, yay!
So I have
perfect.
All these little mini skeins.
They go pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, I've already done 2 stripes, and I still have a pretty decent chunk of each left. Like, I might be able to squeeze out, like, a tiny baby version of it with my leftovers.
Or maybe, like, a mini hat.
Something like that. So the base yarn, the white, I pulled out of my stash, and I had a full ball of it, which I knew wasn't enough, but I was like, I'll order another ball. But the yarn label wasn't in it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure it's a Malabrigo sock yarn. Like, I was 90% sure. So I ordered another ball of Malabrigo sock yarn on the internet the other day to like make up for it. And I'm not convinced that it is the same, but because you're blending it with another yarn, it's going to hide it anyway. And the color looks very similar. It's just an undyed like cream color. So I'm not convinced it's the same, but I also have no idea what it might be if it wasn't that. So
yeah, I'm like, what would it have been?
I
That's
have
a
no
nice
idea.
Plaid merino.
When you were talking about Spud and Chloe Fine, it kind of feels like that. But I don't think that's what it is, because it was a 100-gram ball.
Was it maybe an extra ball from...
Yeah, those are 50-gram balls.
From when we were dyeing?
No, I don't think so.
I don't
Because
think
it
they had any
doesn't
extras.
seem... I don't know.
You
it might be Malabrigo sock. It looks similar as far as like the texture, but it feels slightly different. I don't know. It doesn't really matter because it'll be fine. But I needed more anyway. I actually might need a third skein, but I'm like, the sleeves are pretty long on this, so I'm just gonna see what I can do with 2 skeins, and hopefully it's enough.
Girl stuff can be cropped.
Maybe it can be sleeveless and make it a vest.
Yeah, it's a sweater she can definitely wear for a long time because it's very stretchy. It's 1x1 ribbing, so she can fit into it for a long time. Her birthday is
God bless you
June.
for doing it again.
I don't mind it.
Plus, it's small. You're doing a small size.
Well,
not
when I know the entire project is 1x1 ribbing, I'm committed to it. It's not that big of a deal.
That's
but
true.
in my mind, when I'm knitting like a regular sweater, and I have like 4 inches of 1x1 ribbing for the hem, I'm like, oh, this is taking forever. But if I know there's no end in sight, like that's just my reality right now.
It's the journey.
It's fine. Like I honestly don't mind it. I have made one of these for myself, the black with the rainbow, and then I started a second one, which I might have talked about last time we were recording. I don't remember.
Oh, why is it such a blur?
I don't know. It's been a whole month. A lot of things happened this month.
It's true.
So I'm working on that because it's easy, and I just have to count, knit one, purl one, and I can handle that. Most of the time I can handle that. I also brought a book with me. I read a couple pages, and I finished 3 crossword puzzles this afternoon. So those are the things that I am working on.
Very good. Your crossword book and your books.
Yep. So now we can talk about what we finished.
Woo!
And what did you make?
Okay. So,
well, we could talk about what we finished this month, or we could just talk about what we finished.
I want to talk about
week.
both things because I have had a very productive month.
Tell us.
This week was very, very good. But let's start with back home.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Kevin's, as most schools are, Kevin went back to having students in the classroom. So he's teaching a hybrid. Some are on Zoom at home and some are in the classroom. So he needed clothing to wear that was like
clothing to wear to work.
Yeah, because he could get away with on Zoom like a t-shirt and whatever comfy shorts he wanted to wear. Like a lot of people.
Pajamas on the bottom and a real shirt on top.
Yeah, he wasn't working from home because he could work in his classroom to teach. So he had to be like,
you got to go from car to classroom.
Yeah, he had to be outside presentable. So he needed new shirts, which I make him these fun button-down shirts. So for Mirabella's birthday, we went shopping at M&L in Orange County. And Kevin always picks the premium fabrics, even though this time I drug them through the flat folds and said, look at the flat folds first, because sometimes you find cool things here that are out there for full price. So Bella was good. She shopped for half her things in the flat folds. Kevin went right back out he walked through all the aisles, was like, this is too hard, too much, overwhelmed. And then he went back to the premium fabrics.
Yeah.
So I made him 5 new shirts with matching masks.
I was going to say, he needs a matching mask for his shirt.
Yeah.
He seems like the kind of teacher that would
oh, yes.
be so matchy.
Yes. So he has 5 new shirts and matching masks to go with them. What did he pick? He picked NASA patches, which are on a red Kona.
Oh,
He picked a kind of comic book style Mandalorian fabric with illustrations of Mandalorian and Grogu. I said his name right?
Yep.
Okay. Because sometimes I don't.
No, it's Grogu.
I don't call him Baby Yoda anymore, but
the child.
I do.
The child.
I call him Baby Yoda. He's not.
Everyone knows it. But...
Oh no, we just got to the point. We finally caught up on Mandalorian where I know what Grogu.
Yeah, okay.
Grogu. I love when he goes.
Sorry, I thought you were caught up.
I like when he's like, Grogu.
Yeah, Gogurt.
Gogurt.
Baby Gogurt.
So the child, yes. And that went on a gray background with orange buttons. I really like the orange buttons on that. What was the blue? I don't know. Oh, he got this cool fabric with periodic table elements, but if you broke the table up into its tiles and sprinkled it on a black background. The gray, the red, and then he got this seascape that we put on a truly tomato orange because it wasn't red, but it wasn't orange either, and that's really beautiful. Those shirts take 4 hours each.
Oh, what a nice
from cutting out and sewing. And I tried to like constrict the time, and it takes the time it takes. I've been making them for him for like 15 years. I don't know why I fool myself into thinking that it takes any less time.
Do you like assembly line them? You don't make one shirt at a time.
Yeah, I do assembly line them. I try to cut them all out at once if I can. I assembly line them up to the point when their thread needs to be unique to them.
Makes sense.
And that's the thing that makes it manageable. But I love batch sewing. Like, it's the only thing that works for me. So in that week, I made him the 5 shirts, and I made him 6 masks because he had an old shirt that still fits. So he has masks for all of his shirts. And then Dante's birthday was that week. So he'd been asking for more pants. So he's still on distance learning, so he can wear pajama pants. So when he asked for pants, I had him clarify. This was the like, this was the like, what is your style conversation?
Right.
He wanted new pajama pants because he likes to change. He's a good boy. He's a 13-year-old who's mindful of changing his pajama pants every day. You know,
my mind is blown that Dante's 13 years old.
I know. What? That is the age he just turned.
Oh
my middle son just turned 13.
He's a teenager.
Then I've known you his whole life. It's just before he was before he was born.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah,
our friendship is a teenage.
Yes. So he had these other pants that he made, these ones. And I don't know.
He made the ones.
He made the ones that are in my hand. But I'm counting as something I finished today. Or I might have made these for him because I do something on them where I put a button in the front, so you know.
Yeah.
So I might have made these ones, but he's made some for himself too over the last year. Anyway, he you guys know what 12 and 13-year-old boys are like. They're just like constantly preventing themselves from falling directly on their face on the floor. Like they're just tumbling through life. Yeah. Just awkward. Don't have control of their bodies. Yeah. So I should have shown you this earlier in the day, but we were all kind of on our separate way. But he tore them from the hem all the way up to the crotch, but not along the seam.
What?
So,
how did you do that?
See that?
Yes,
gash
I do see
here.
That
And this isn't the first time. I think these ones have been repaired along the seam, and then this now. So I mended these greatly injured. I mean, I think his toe got caught in it, and then he started falling forward.
And his knee just sort of ripped through.
I don't know, and he doesn't even know. Like, I'm like, what did you do?
He's like,
how did you do?
He's like,
I don't know. I just landed on the floor, and I have no memory of how I got here.
I had a pair of pajamas I finished for Mirabella a few months ago that had been cut out for a year, and she has grown the most of maybe since her first year of life, where they grow and change so much.
Yeah.
She's grown so much this year that it was like a prayer that the pajamas, when I finished them, would fit her, and they just barely. So she recently ripped the crotch out of those. From lounging on the couch and your legs up, and she demonstrated to me. She's like, "This is how I was," and she's spread eagle on the couch. That's gonna need a gusset.
I do split.
Yeah, basically she was doing
a
the
replacement panel.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a gusset. I'm pretty sure I have
gusset.
It's space donut fabric. I'm pretty sure I have some more. So she came across them as I was packing. She's like, "Mom, you need to mend these," and she handed me both hers and her brother's pajama pants that needed mending. Hers are gonna keep for a little longer, maybe a week or so. So picking what to bring on the trip was challenging because we had some pep talks, Karen and I, about don't bring too much because we could both overpack easily.
Our car was at max capacity, so we did a good job.
Yeah. We couldn't have taken one thing more.
Mm-mm. Maybe a couple things more, but
not
we
have things to bring back. So
that's true. But yeah.
So
I packed,
probably less food to bring home. Though.
True. I've been thinking about that.
I packed an empty bag to bring my stuff home with.
Yes. Yeah. So
you strap it to the roof, right?
Yeah. So I was trying to decide category. I have some things for me that I could finish. On Instagram, I gave myself a challenge a few months ago of finish 9. So I was thinking maybe I could take some of those projects, but none of that was inspiring. So the right thing to do was to finish the projects that the Fabric Mirabella shopped for that day were. So she did shop in the flat folds.
Kid garment sewing is a good option.
Okay,
They're still a
what
little
you
bit
guys
smaller.
what you guys can't see is she has this humongous stack of finished things that she's done this weekend.
Okay, so pre-trip, I finished 5 shirts, 6 masks, and 6 pairs of pajama pants. There's this saying that work expands to fill time.
Yeah.
So those 6 pajama pants, like I cut out, and that took normal cutting out time. I'd use that simplicity pattern that's one piece.
Yeah.
And I layered. I didn't do all 6 fabrics. I think I did 3 and 3 because flannel's so thick. And then it took me an hour and 15 minutes to sew all 6 pants.
Yeah, pajama pants are easy.
Yeah. So
there's like 4
it takes
seams.
longer to cut than to sew.
And hemming.
Yeah, I think it was almost
Probably.
1 for 1, the cutting time to the sewing time of that. Putting in because I like to do the elastic when I have the kid in front of me.
Yeah.
So I took those. We did a birthday trip for him, so I took those on the birthday trip, and I brought them home and I put them on like a visible place in the living room, and he didn't notice until I came home and said, "Look at what I finished." That this stack of 6 pajama pants in his favorite colors with like things he likes on
and patterns he likes.
That it was for him. He was over the moon.
Well, he's 13. He's
oh my god,
a little oblivious.
Yes, completely oblivious. So, okay, so I have 5 shirts, 6 masks, and 6 pajama pants.
Okay,
that was pre-trip.
Okay,
so I have 6 bottoms here, 3 tops, and 1 jumper.
Sure.
Yeah. So what is that? That's 6, 9, 10.
That she's sewn in the last 2 days.
Yes.
Yeah.
And cut and everything.
Yes.
Cut and sewn. And some of that was stuff she shopped for.
Yeah. So
she got yesterday.
Karen, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Are you surprised?
No.
Because I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised. I know when she goes, "Oh, it took 4 whole hours." I'm like, "You have no idea how slow I am."
Yeah, see, I'm like really a garment sewer, so I'm like, I'm not surprised.
If I
but
could
I'm
get,
also very impressed.
If I could get a project cut and sewn together in 4 hours, I mean like a wearable project, I'd be like so happy. I have the worst motivation to want to cut.
The cutting, because Kevin asked me
once
to do
it's
that.
cut, it's committed.
Kevin asked me to do that sewing for him, like maybe 3 or 4 weeks before he needed it. He's like, "You have till April 12th."
Okay.
And which really I was like, "But don't you have 1 shirt that works still?" So I took till April 13th to deliver the first shirt. And then April 14th was Dante's birthday, so I didn't work on sewing that night. I spent the night with my family. And then 15th, I had just a little to do on each thing. So on the 15th was when I did the finishing touches on the last 4 shirts.
So give us a tour of what
of your
giant
So what did
stack.
I do here?
What did you do? What have you done?
I have the cutest rainbow fabric. It's like rainbow arches with a little cloud and rainbow colored raindrops falling. And it's a pajama. It's not pajama pants, but it's like pajama pants. The same work.
Essentially.
It needs elastic, but they're just like a slim line straight pant. Cute. And then when I was cutting out my patterns, I showed Karen and Katie the pattern piece for the skirt that comes with this. It's a new look pattern, but I put it away. So it's just this cute little girl's pattern that is a peplum top and either a straight skirt or these simple pants. It's like the pants and the skirt would be a great thing for a girl to learn to sew. So I showed them the pattern piece, and it's literally like a rectangle.
Cut out this rectangle.
So it's very similar to my easiest skirt, if that sounds enticing to anyone. And I didn't tell you guys I was wrestling with like a value principle on making these, because I probably had enough fabric to put pockets in these.
Oh.
And I didn't.
How hard is it to put an afterthought pocket in?
It's more work than I'm ever. Like these are done now. That's it.
The pants don't have pockets. She's little. Yeah. She doesn't have.
That's what I decided. I'm like, what does she need pockets for?
Get her a fanny pack.
Right.
She and make it out of that fabric.
Or she stays home still. So.
If she had her own phone or something, then I would be like,
yeah. I really thought about it. I'm like, what is she going to put in her pocket?
Yeah.
Rocks.
She's not old enough to appreciate a pocket.
Literally, she'll put rocks in her pockets.
Bug.
Yeah. Yeah. Literally.
Lizard.
So, okay. So she got a skirt and pants in that cute rainbow fabric, and then the peplum top that goes with it. this adorable
Oh,
unicorn
so
situation. That's these like unicorns
Rainbows and
prancing
unicorns.
through purple, like on a purple background. With both these rainbows are wrong.
But the way you face.
Yeah, they are.
In
that
this
rainbow is purple and pink and yellow and hot pink.
Yeah.
Is that what it's going
And
on?
then one is hot pink, yellow, green, and orange.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
But
is
it
the
looks
modern.
great total.
Okay, this is the modern rainbow. Don't mess it up with science.
Well, so it's important when you're packing for a trip in a remote place that doesn't have a Joann's like seconds away
Sure.
to make sure you read your entire supply list.
Yep.
So I did not pay attention that both patterns needed half-inch double folds or half-inch single fold
Bias.
bias binding.
Uh-huh.
So luckily I bought extra of the pink and black houndstooth at the fabric store we're at, and I made continuous binding. Which
And it looks adorable. It really
should count
is
as
nice...
a finished project.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Binding is a pain in the butt.
binding
Binding in general.
binding itself is a project.
I have to look up the continuous loop every time I do it.
You would have bought pre-made though, right? Or would you have made it?
I have mixed feelings about that.
Uh-huh.
It depends on my mood. Because once you do that, I use like half a yard, and I have this pink and black bias binding that's a neutral in a sense, or like
Sure.
it could go with a lot of things. It went with all three of these tops. So every once in a while I get the urge to do it and have it on hand.
I guess if you were making something like for yourself, or like you wanted to look really professional and
Yes.
you wanted to match, then it would be
Yes.
worth it. But
I've done
don't
that, and I fell in love with it. Like if
Yeah.
you're gonna Hong Kong seam something, make your own.
I don't know what that is. You'll have to tell me.
Oh, Hong Kong seaming is so cool.
It's not French seaming. It's not. There's so many different ways to seam.
Yeah, I
remember
don't.
you talked about it when you made a jacket.
Yes, I made a McCall's jacket with Sew Your View, which is an Instagram account that like chooses a pattern, and it's supposed to like challenge and build your skills. And so it was a very simple jacket, but I wanted to do that skill building part of it. So Hong Kong seam is you take thinner bias binding, like 1-inch bias binding, and you could use single fold, but you have to unfold it, and you sew it to one side, and then you tack it down on the other side. So there's a raw side on the inside that like gets sandwiched between the fabric and the seam, but it's invisible. And it's so pretty.
See, I saw you doing that, and I did that, not knowing what it was called.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
The thing is, I've thought about getting a pre-made bias binding, but I don't necessarily find colors that match or that I like. And I like the idea of a little pop of print on the inside. It adds a neat detail. So
this is
I know it's
making
extra
this
step,
like 10% more cute.
Oh
this
yeah,
little top.
it makes it really is a feature, and look, it coordinates with.
Well, I'm not gonna do that one yet.
Okay, with something else that's in
so
our pile.
I'm too lazy to get up, and we're all set up, and so you guys will get to see this patch later. But Intensely Distracted, I think, is her screen name. She issued her first design of like finished project patches. And she has one that says "This is the way" and kind of stylized in the Mandalorian Star Wars way. So I ordered those as soon as they were released, and I'm going to put them on this peplum top, which is the child in his little capsule on a black background.
Very cute.
And the pink and black houndstooth is actually like the same color as his ears, because it's kind of a peachy pink. So it's so perfect with this. And so I think I'm going to put the "This is the way" patch like right on the bodice down here. So Mirabella wanted, this was one of her premium fabrics she chose. She wanted a whole dress out of that. And the pattern I had in hand was calling for like 4 yards for a dress for her. And I wasn't familiar with the pattern, so you can't like question that yet. And I was not going to buy 4 yards.
That seems like a whole
premium
heck of a lot.
When I don't even know like if it's right. So she's like, I want a dress out of this fabric. So I got back in the car and I said, I didn't do that for you. I'm making you a top out of it. But I had this other like celestial fabric that's like a charcoal background with silver stars and sparkles and phases of the moon that I have 4 yards to make me. And then I made her the skirt and the pants to go with Grogu.
So many ensemble options.
Yeah. She has her own capsule right here.
Yeah, there you go. Hope she likes them.
Yep. So the fabric that I got yesterday, because it was like very tempting to abandon what I brought.
Right.
And buy something new at the fabric store.
Right.
So instead I was like, just buy one more set of what you're already going to make. It won't make a big impact. And I am living dangerously because I have been kind of disciplined about pre-washing my cottons. Which crazy thing happened with Kona. I pre-washed.
I saw that on your Instagram.
Yeah, they all shrink at different rates. Like,
so weird.
A red shrank almost like maybe 2 inches total, and then like one shrank maybe a quarter less than the others.
I wonder if like some dyes they go through different rinsing processes. Like maybe some colors get rinsed more or something.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But that's not a result I would have anticipated.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Because Kona is a product I use because I trust its consistency and quality. So that was very surprising. So anyway, living dangerously on this adorable cat fabric. They're like these very graphic little cats. Like,
they're very cute.
Like, how would you describe
They're kind of like little rectangles. Like their faces are little rectangles with tiny little ears sticking out the top.
Just very graphic, cute little cats. And then I didn't notice this at first, but there's a tiny, slightly darker polka dot.
Yeah, there's a little pink polka dot.
And then I faced it with the houndstooth, which is what the pants and the skirt.
Did you have a zipper? On hand?
Yes. So that was also like the color choosing I was doing at the fabric store.
She had some zippers.
Yeah, I bought zippers at Super Buzzy before we left town, and I didn't have the fabrics with me, so I got a black and a charcoal and a purple and a pink because I wasn't sure what went with the unicorns, and I wasn't sure if black or charcoal would work better with the Star Wars fabric. So I had an extra zipper. I have 2 extra zippers. I have one more still. I decided the black is perfect.
Black's perfect.
This adorable thing. And so then she has her little straight pants and her little straight skirt.
The houndstooth pants are killing me. That's so cute. I told Anne she's going to look like a little business lady in her little pink houndstooth pants.
With the pale pink cat, black cat peplum is very stylish.
So, you need to start an Instagram account for
I know.
Mirabella's capsule wardrobe.
Her little fashion, yes. And then all of these need elastic because I'm going to elasticize it when I am with her. But this is a little jumpsuit. She's decided she wants to only wear jumpsuits.
I was wondering what that frilly piece was that you were working on, that round thing.
Yeah. Shockingly tall. I bought her a 14-16 little jumper kind of like this at Target, thinking, I'm going to have hem the pants.
That looks like adult length, but does it like cinch at the waist or something?
Yeah, it cinches at the waist. And
it will have elastic.
And then you can elasticize the bottom too.
Got it.
That's so we'll do all that. But
what is the print? It's like
waves a galaxy,
of color,
like
waves.
Like looking at
like
a starry
Aurora
night with
Borealis.
Aurora Borealis.
Yeah.
And she chose this. She really wanted the NASA patch fabric, and actually she picked that, and then Kevin stole it from her.
Yeah, she would have had a little space jumpsuit.
Yes. So I don't think I would have liked the patches with this. In fact, I know I wouldn't. I don't care. I'm making it. So I'm going to make her a separate one. That's the blue, because NASA jumpsuits are blue.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get that like similar blue, and I'm going to use the patches fabric for a ruffle, and she'll get a second jumpsuit.
Or save a couple patches from the cuttings from Kevin's
and add it
like applique them on. That would be cute.
Yeah. So I decided. Also, I forgot that fabric, so I wanted to be done with.
There you go.
Yeah. So the only thing that everything needs is elastic. But yeah, no, that's
like an adult sized garment.
But she's pushing on 5 feet tall.
Wow.
At 10. So I bought her that jumpsuit at Target, and she put it on, and she's like, it fit her perfectly. Like not even dragging on the ground. And later that day, she said she loved it. She was very happy, and she says, "Mom, where did you get that?" I'm like, "Target." And she's like, "Really?" I'm like, "Why?" I think she thought it was like from somewhere cool because I feel like a really pretty girl in this.
Oh, you should copy it.
Make her make it every day for all the time.
That's so cute.
But I think she thought I got it like somewhere special.
It makes me feel like a pretty girl.
Yeah, like, well, you are a pretty girl. Duh.
Yeah. Very cute.
So I did get a lot done.
She got a lot done.
I did.
What did you make?
Again, I think your finished thing might have as many pieces as what I assembled.
As total pieces, yes.
That is true, because
everybody's thing is impressive in its own way. Anne's thing is very impressive. Karen, what did you make?
Okay, so I've been working. I limited myself to one sewing project. one cross stitch thing and one knitting because the knitting's good for the car. I don't feel comfortable with a needle while someone else is driving.
Yeah.
Or even when I'm driving.
It would make me nervous as the driver.
Thank you for not cross stitching while you're the driver.
I mean,
that would also make me nervous.
Cross stitch is not the thing you can do when you're stopped at a light.
No.
You might be able to pick up your knitting, but you can't do cross stitch.
We at Strings and Things Studio do not recommend you knitting while operating a moving vehicle.
That is correct.
No.
Continue.
Yeah, don't craft and drive unless you're the passenger. Well, then you're not driving. You're just a rider. Anyway, so there's a quilt.
People say you're not supposed to knit as the passenger, like in the passenger seat.
Why?
Because if the airbags go off, you can impale yourself with your knitting needles. I have heard that before.
I'm gonna live dangerously.
Yeah,
if I'm gonna go,
saying.
then I'll die happy. Do it.
Well, I hope
she died doing the things she loved, or she didn't die.
It doesn't kill you, and then that would really suck.
Not getting killed.
No, having knitting needles impale you and not dying from it, and then having to go to the hospital with your knitting stuck to you.
And you know what I would be?
Because you know what? They wouldn't save the sweater that was on the needles.
I would be like, stitch around it. Don't.
They're throwing
the bag.
They're throwing biohazard. The biohazard. Yeah, they
don't get blood on the project.
Pull the yard out.
She flatlines as they close the bin.
The project. I'm taking it with me.
Literally.
Okay. So I started the tattoo quilt, and I knew I wasn't going to do it on. I'm doing it just on my own.
Is that the name of the pattern?
It's called the tattoo quilt, okay. And it's various blocks, and they have like a symbol. It's a foundation paper piece project, and they're like 12 by 18, or they might even be more like 15 by 20. They're really big blocks. You've got a background. And they have like something that would be like it. Each one is like something that you might find on as a tattoo.
It's like a real, like, what do they call that? Like a traditional, it might be like neo-traditional style tattoo, like classic. Yeah,
like, where it has a it has a banner, yeah. And a word, a positive word, or something inspiring.
Like you would see on someone's arm that said "mom."
Exactly.
Except it doesn't say mom.
That's exactly what I wanted to say.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no moms in this one. So the first one I actually did is
there's me as a mom, the one you're working on right now.
Yeah.
Fury.
It depends on what how you're feeling that day.
First one is a hand with a heart in it, and it says truth. And someone did point, and I posted on Instagram, and someone said, "Wow, that's a great banner fabric." I didn't even notice the banner fabric has little hands holding hearts, and it was not intentional. It was completely accidental. I wasn't thinking. I was just thinking this is a light blue for the banner, and I've got a dark blue, but I wasn't thinking that it's a Tula Pink fabric that has little from her homemade line. It has little hands pinching together, holding hearts, and the tattoo is a hand with a heart. So,
can I see?
Yes.
I'm making a shirt,
and the word is
fabric.
truth.
I love that fabric.
Cute.
And then I did have a second one, and I got all done, and I noticed that right in the center, towards the beginning of my work, I had the wrong fabric, and I'm not taking all of those pieces apart. So I very carefully picked out the one little section and ironed and machine stitched it. So it became 3 different Y seams trying to fit this piece in. But I had to get that done before I would let myself work on anything further. So the thing I finished before coming here last weekend was, no, I guess I didn't finish it. I got it almost finished, and I finished it here. So the third block is like, it looks like a corset or a bustier, but really it's like your armor, and it has a little heart on it, and the banner there says courage. And that one came out really good.
It's like a chest plate.
Yeah, it's like a chest plate, but it's definitely feminine.
Sure, yeah.
It kind of reminds it reminds me of a corset, but with straps or something. And then the one that
Xena wore a princess, only different colors.
Yeah. Oh, I saw. Oh, it reminds me of a card.
This is my favorite one.
It reminds me of a card I saw today that her foot really hurt because she was busy kicking ass.
I don't know. I like the other two too. What was it? The chin hairs or straight eyebrows. Or I don't have chin hairs. I have straight eyebrows.
Yeah, they're just like shifting eyelashes or something like that. Or
it was eyebrows. I remember.
Eyebrows. Okay.
Yeah, because I have strong brows. I like to point that out every chance I get, in case you didn't notice.
I did not notice that.
You don't notice my eyebrows?
I'm being sarcastic. In my sincere voice. So.
Well, I mean, in Karen's defense, your glasses do cover a portion
That's fair.
of them.
That might be by design. And then my favorite was what was it? She said
the other card.
Oh, there was a couple.
Something
really
about.
Oh, wait.
This was at a gift
when
shop.
I laugh,
I'm low on. Oh, there was a couple. I'm low on estrogen, and I have a gun.
What was the one about like the tears down my legs?
Oh yeah, I laughed so hard the tears rolled down my leg.
Oh my god.
If you're like later age, you totally you know that. Yeah. Okay, so since I've been here, I started 2 blocks. I made a point of only preparing for 2 blocks. I brought whatever fabric I was going to have, so I didn't make that decision until I got here. But I had just various scraps and plus some fabric that I had chosen for it, but I only used a little bit of that. So I did the love block, and it has wings and the heart it has a heart in the center that I made pink floral, and then the banner is like cream with dark purple letters.
It almost looks like black and white. Like, I love the contrast. That's my favorite block that you've made. I love the banner. I think it's so cute.
It has wings, and the wings are in gradient blues, but they were the same fabric. I gotta remember what this is, like Inferno or something like that. It's a fabric lined by Juicy Juice, and I'm pretty sure it's called Inferno or something like that, where it's just this, I don't know how
it's
to call it. It's a
good gradient, yeah.
It is an excellent gradient because you get colors that play well together, and they have almost a marbled, it almost looks like an agate, or like kind of stone or volcanic, and I think that's what's meant to be the colors of a stone that as it. And then I did start. That was yesterday's, and I did finish it technically before midnight, so that was yesterday.
Sure. I was in bed.
We don't even need technically.
Yeah.
When you finish, it's good.
I didn't go to bed then though because I was waiting for the moon to come out so I could get some really good night shots because I'm practicing my night photography. And the moon, I was hoping to get the moon as it was just above the snowy mountains because then the light would shine on it. Or I could get the stars.
Late or early.
Yeah, I went to bed about 3, and I set my alarm for an hour and a half, and then I'm like, oh, never mind, I'm not getting up because it would have. I calculated when it would be above the mountains at about 4:30. But I had to catch it. I couldn't wait too late because sunrise was at 6 o'clock.
Right.
So I have to sleep sometime
for it to go to the pretty mountains because it rises over the. We're in a valley, so on the other side there are mountains, but they're not the good ones.
I wanted it over the snow-capped mountains. Yeah. Like you said, the pretty mountains.
Yeah.
So I did start Fury, and Fury, the banner, I have 3 shades of charcoal. The light charcoal is really a dark medium charcoal, and it goes to almost black, and that's what the banner is going to be. And then the letters are this bright orange and yellow floral, but it looks like flames.
It looks like fire.
And when it's done, it'll have big flames coming out. You think about like those the flames on a classic car when they got the sides painted in flames. Yeah, it's kind of that. The only thing I got finished on that was FU.
FU.
A Fury.
They look great though.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a cool block that with that bright orange contrast.
But just to do the letters is like, hold on,
a billion tiny little pieces.
Yeah, that's why it's like you probably finish more pieces.
Yeah, individual little pieces.
Each letter, each section, because I like the foundation paper piecing because I don't have to be super tidy and neat. I mean,
You don't?
I mean, I do, but I don't have to worry about which way the fabric's going.
It's forgiving.
If I get it, I get it to fit. I fold some back. I trim to my 1/4 inch seam. I match it. I sew it. I press it. repeat.
You know how you'll see somebody doing something or like their style of sewing and it's either like I could see myself doing that or you just know like that's not for me. I think I would poke my eyes out. I really don't think it's for me.
It has a rhythm to it. Okay, but
I've done a smaller paper piece
I
project.
could see myself making like a cool panel and incorporating it into like a pillow or something, but yeah.
Well,
I'm impressed.
It's 10 little pieces, but I don't have to cut these pieces. They're sewing them and trimming and sewing and trimming and pressing. So just the F was 10 pieces. The U is 10 pieces. And it goes through the alphabet to CC. So A, B, C, all the way through the alphabet. I think the only letter it doesn't have is I, but it has 25 letters, each with about anywhere from 3 to 10 bits of piecing each. And then there's A, B, B, C, C. And then you got the border. But the border is really easy.
Yeah.
For the most part, I use I use a foot on my machine that is clear, so I can see. I love
my clear foot.
I love that clear foot. I can see
everything
because I don't have to be as fussy about about the fabric, but I do have to be fussy about where I stitch. So I start only for that line of stitching. I don't go all the way to the edges or anything like that. And I didn't use to back tack, but then when I go to rip the paper out, anything that's a little, so I do I tack at the beginning and the end of every stitch. It's tedious, but it does get every seam.
Not every stitch.
Thank you. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, some seams are pretty tiny, so maybe. But...
Well, yeah, and that's the other thing because it's paper piecing. You reduce your stitch count to 2, but you're doing lots of tiny little stitches, stitching. But then when you go to rip the paper off, which I'm not going to do, I'm not ripping the paper till I'm ready to put the whole thing together and start quilting. I've done it before where I was like so excited, I did this, and let me rip the paper out. And then what happens is then the seams don't stay flat.
Okay.
Whereas the paper keeps everything in its shape and pressed flat. So
it's also like it's like the carrot at the end of the stick. You finish them all, and then you get to do the fun part about pulling out all the papers. Because that seems satisfying to me.
It is and it isn't. There's a lot of tiny little things.
I'm sure there's lots of little tiny ones, huh?
But it's like art. It's like I'm creating pictures.
Like
I'm making. It's like I'm using fabric to paint with stitches.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Very cool.
I would have gotten more done today, but I had a margarita, and by margarita I drank like 1 inch of my big margarita. Which I think the rest, I got to toss it out of your car. And then I had a headache and I had to take a nap.
You know, you don't have to justify a nap. This is a good place to take a nap.
This is the best place to take a nap.
Yep.
So, you didn't need a nap because of your hour and a half of sleep?
Well,
it was probably
a combination
of various things, yeah.
I might have been able to push through, but the margarita didn't be in. It was a pretty good margarita, though.
No pushing through on vacation.
No, that was the thing.
We're here to relax.
I wanted to be able to have fun, and you know that if you push yourself into something when you're not in a good head place for it, and it's not like a crucial thing that you have to do, you're better off.
Worth it.
No, because I'm just gonna make mistakes, and that would be more frustrating. Instead, I had a nap, and I came back refreshed, and made a great meal, and
it was
that's
good.
why last night it was I don't know what time it was, but you guys were still just getting started sewing, and I had hit my wall, and kept saying, "Are you pumpkining yet?" I was close to pumpkining.
How about now?
No, I'm still fine right now. I wouldn't sew right now because I am not you guys.
Well, now that I'm done, I don't want to touch my sewing machine for days.
Yeah. But I hit that point, and I was like, I'm done. I'm just gonna sit on my butt for a little while. So I get it. I totally get it.
Which is the right choice.
Yeah. Because if you keep going and you push, you make so many more mistakes. And it's not worth it. And then you're having a bad time, and it's
and
all bad.
And picking out stitches that are only at size 2, and you didn't bring your seam ripper, so you're being really careful to snip them out. I may be done, even though I don't finish the Fury block tonight.
You got it started.
You know what? I got it started, and I think I'm going to just enjoy, maybe get a nap before I get up in the middle of the night to try to take that picture.
You know, what do they say? Your value is not it's not based on your productivity, and that's a thing that and we need to remember in life, but also like we're on vacation.
Every time I hear that, I'm like, what a lie.
I know, but
you're wrong. Don't you know what my value is? My productivity. Come on.
I did finish one more thing.
Okay.
I use it all the time now, so I totally forget. I made the Pinto Stadium bag by So Sweetness. It's all vinyl.
You didn't make that here. You made it this month?
I made it this month.
Got it.
Yeah. I've never made a vinyl on vinyl bag before. And this one has curves. And you say that sarcastically because
Karen knocks on my door and she's like, I need help.
I'm like,
I gave you as many tips as I could.
Well, okay, so she usually I'm used to clipping curves.
Yeah.
But you don't clip the curves on vinyl. I'm guessing I have a feeling she normally Sarah Lawson at So Sweetness, she always has you clip your curves, but she specifically did not tell you to do so on it. It's just like this little vinyl rectangular bag, but with curves, and it's got a zipper, and all the seams are in binding. And it's of course unlined because you want to be able to see through it. And I made it out of this really cool holographic vinyl. But I think the problem is that holographic vinyl is a lot stiffer than regular vinyl. Like,
do you know what gauge it is?
I got it on Amazon and it was pretty, and I thought it said 12 or whatever that gauge was. Or
if it's thicker, it's probably at least 16. I think in vinyl, I finally figured this out. I think in vinyl, the higher the number is, the thicker it gets. So it might be like 16 or 20.
What if it's not thicker, but it's just stiffer? Because I've gotten the clear stuff, which is really soft and bendable, but this one, I'm just in trying to turn it creased itself, and those creases never came out.
They will eventually.
I put them in the sun.
Yeah.
And you can't iron vinyl because you
can.
I tried steaming, and okay, I probably should. I tried it with my pressing cloth.
Yeah.
And it pressed the shape of the texture of the cloth into the vinyl.
You have to put your iron on real low, and you just do it real quick. But it is possible to iron. The thing, so I was talking to Anne. I think you were napping at this point when I was sewing, and I was like I get in my mind like there can't be a pleat in this seam because I can do better than that. But at some point, it's like, number one, who cares if there's a pleat in the seam? If it's something for you, you might care.
It's the first time I've ever done this. This first one's a learning prototype. It's for me.
But the other thing
I'm not selling it, so I'm okay with
you're using this really reflective holographic vinyl, and it's so distracting that you would never see a pleat in your seam.
It's true.
So it doesn't matter. You had a misshape in
I
your
have
bag.
had people say, wow, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah. I'm going to make some and sell them.
Vinyl like that, then it doesn't really matter.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
And then the strap is really fun because the strap is I love this this butterfly. It's like a watercolor butterfly fabric. I've used it on a couple of different things, but it blends well. And I've got holographic vinyl in 3 other colors, so I'm very excited. But less excited than I was when
you started the first one.
When I started the first one.
I was thinking about this, about your project, and I was like, if it was me, I would just make it a rectangle.
But then the corners are pokey.
Yeah.
Kind of sharp.
Well, I mean, it's just a different look.
It would be very boxy. That's true.
It would be a lot easier.
It might be worth
trying.
You're going to still how do you put a zipper in there? I guess the zipper still just curves around just the same.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It would just simplify your whole corner. It
would absolutely simplify my corner.
Also,
doing a Y seam versus.
I would try another one by clipping the corners. I don't think it would make a big difference.
I clipped one corner, and that's the one that has the most pleats in it.
Oh, okay, never mind.
And then I thought,
listen to me.
Then I thought maybe if I lightly warm it up by steaming on the iron, but by the time I got it from the iron to the machine, it had cooled down.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? It was my first thing. The next one will probably be better. It'll be easier.
Practice.
How many times do we make a sweater or we make a project and we're like, okay, I got all my mistakes out of the way. I'm going to try this again a second time, and it'll probably be more enjoyable because I won't do those same things. Although I tend to make more mistakes on the second thing
because you're eased into it.
Because
and
I'm like, oh, I don't have to read the
this.
directions.
Sure.
I already know how to do this. And then I make mistakes because I'm like, oh, well, because Anne is always in my head and I blame her.
I'm so
because
sorry.
reading
I don't
is
even
for
want to be in
suckers.
my head all the time. Jeez.
Every time I didn't read, I'm like, it's darn you, Anne. Reading's
Well-
not for suckers. I should have been reading. No, it's my own fault for not reading.
I can't control you.
As much as she liked to.
That is a mirage. I do not want to control either of you.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, that's everything I've done.
Is it, if you do it the second time and still continue in your way of doing it and never read the instructions, maybe that's now your technique. It's not wrong. It's not a mistake.
It's your own.
It's your way.
No, because it's if I had stockinette and I was supposed to do shaping, oh yeah, I didn't.
What a cute boxy sweater.
It's all about perspective, right?
Yeah, some things look intentional and some things just look like an oops.
Sure.
So, and sometimes I cannot. Sometimes I can sell the oops and make it a design element. Other times, not so much.
Yeah.
I love how freely that idea of a mistake as a design element just gets thrown at every mistake.
Everything. It makes you feel better.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, because you know what, you realize that there's some mistakes that are just not a big deal, and you could just, and it's easier to live with it because it's more work and more bother to go back and try to fix something that maybe in the long run doesn't make a big difference.
Yeah.
If I'm telling you about it, I want you to know it was a mistake.
Right.
All of my design elements are secret.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I have been also on like a vinyl sewing kick. It at home. I didn't bring any with me. I thought about it, but
You inspired me. That's why I started getting the vinyl.
I really have been really enjoying sewing with vinyl, and I had a stash of, like, I bought a bin of scrap, not a bin, like an envelope full of scraps of like various different styles of vinyl from So Hungry Hippie, like SEW,
Oh.
So Hungry Hippie.
I'm looking that up.
She has a great website and tutorials and stuff, but she's like sells all kinds of really cool vinyl.
I always read it as hippo.
I always think So Happy Hippie, and I Google it and it doesn't show up because it's So Hungry Hippie. So don't make my mistake.
You know,
But
you were saying about Karen and the paper piecing.
Uh-huh.
Like, you look at this cool thing where people are making a really cool thing, and
Yeah.
you're like, wow, that's really cool. I could see myself doing it, or,
yeah,
that's cool, but
Never-
it's not for me.
Sometimes
I love
just
receiving the vinyl things you guys make.
I love making
I just
them.
don't think it's
I
ever
love
going to be for
making
me.
them.
there's lots of times I don't have to make something to really appreciate the gift and talent of someone else.
like I love sewing with vinyl and oilcloth and like the plasticky fabrics like that, because when it's a finished project, I just think that it looks like something that you couldn't make. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's a thing you buy,
Definitely.
and that's a fun thing. So
Did you make your little cosmetic bag?
Yes, so I have a little box bag in the bathroom that's my like toiletry kit, and I have this pink vinyl that I bought at Joann's, and I was having fun with it, like matching like funky zipper colors with it. So I have a big one that's my toiletry kit, and then I have a smaller one with like pink with an orange zipper. I have like a little to-go makeup bag in my purse, so they kind of match. So I was having fun making those, and then here's my secret hot tip, which don't tell anybody, but if you go to Hobby Lobby and buy the yarn, or near the yarn, they have a section of ribbon, and it's on an end cap, and it's these really wide spools, and they call it faux leather ribbon. It is essentially like not vinyl, but it's like vinyl with like polyester backing.
Mhm.
That's what your little box bags that I made you are made out of.
Oh.
So you can get, it's a piece that's like 8 by like 24 on this roll, so there's not a lot of it. Like, I could probably make 2 box bags out of one of those little spools of ribbon, but it's always on sale, like 50% off or whatever.
I have been tempted by those.
Yeah.
And I think, no.
And is that
sorry.
polyester backing make it easier to sew with?
Yes. So I have a non-stick foot for my machine, so it doesn't typically stick, but the polyester backing makes it easier. It doesn't stick to the bottom of your sewing machine, so that's nice. So I made Anne and Karen both. I made Anne a pink holographic little mini
love it.
box bag, and I made Karen a blue holographic little mini box bag. And then
Which
I had
is
another
absolutely
one,
perfect because, like, hello, it's my color.
right.
Well, you made one maybe 2 years ago. as little anniversary presents, and I kept it. I use it in my purse every day.
Oh.
And I was just organizing my purse.
I didn't even remember that I made that.
Well, I'll show it to you.
Okay.
I was like, how do I con Katie into another little bag?
You just asked me.
All right, sweet. And then my wish was like fulfilled within like 6 hours of thinking it.
They're like, they've been my distracting project, because if I'm at work, like, I really need to clean my studio or reorganize. But then I'm like, oh, but I could just sew a cute little bag with my half an hour that I have left.
I would love my studio to be as organized as yours, which I almost got to, and then I threw more shit in there.
Yeah. It happens. But I that is on my list of things to do. I'm like, I really need to organize my studio. Or I could just sit down and sew another little bag.
See, I can have a clean desk or a clean island. But I can't really have both because I need the space on one. So they go back and forth.
I have two desks in an L shape. One of them is usually rather clean. The other one's piled with crap. And it could be either one. Like, this one's piled, this one's clean. So I totally get it. So that's kind of what I've been working on at home as far as, like, little projects that I've finished. Various other little zipper pouches and stuff. But I brought with me to sew for our trip a duffel bag, the cargo duffel pattern by Noodlehead, which is a free pattern on I think it's the Robert Kaufman website. You can download it for free. It is not my favorite of her patterns. I think because it's the free version, it's much less detailed than her regular patterns. So I find it a little challenging because it's just abbreviated. It's like when you get like a commercial knitting pattern and everything's abbreviated to fit on less pages, you know? It's the same kind of thing with the sewing pattern. But I have made, I think, 2 of them before. This is the 3rd one. I made one for my niece when she was little that has, I think, mermaids that are kitties, like little kitty cat mermaids on it. It was very cute and like pink and sparkly and very, very Ameren. And so she came over to spend the night, and her brother, she had her stuff in her cute little duffel bag, and her brother's was in like a, I want to say it was, I might be exaggerating. I think it was like a plastic grocery bag. His like stuff. And I was like, this will not do.
This bag is so cute.
So he loves cars. He's going to be 3 in May. So his
I see what you mean by those square. Just square it off.
Yeah.
Don't round it.
Yeah, these are square corners.
That's pretty easy, and it looks great.
So the main print is like a light blue with like primary colored little cars and trucks and stuff on a little darker blue, kind of like little track. Very cute. There's like some construction vehicles. And then there's a dark black and gray print on the bottom that kind of reminded me of like tire treads. And it's got like little yellow and red like kind of spots that I thought kind of looked like almost like traffic lights. But it's in like a tire tread kind of chevron pattern. And I quickly realized as I was sewing, you have to quilt all these pieces, that it was really confusing my eyes as it was like buzzing through my sewing machine, all these like little zigzags going back and forth. Like my eyes were totally wigging out. I was really glad when the quilting was done. Because I was like, I drew my lines on with my friction pen, follow the straight line. I couldn't keep a straight line.
Frixion.
My Frixion pen.
Frixion.
That's an alternate pronunciation
we
learned this weekend.
learned that. So that's the bottom, and then there's a little like red and white polka dot print for the pockets and the handle. And I'm very happy with it. I think it turned out really cute.
So cute.
And I was reminded why I've only made 2 of these, because it's not the easiest project. I mean, it's pretty basic pieces, but the way it comes together and then you have to bind the inside. I was complaining that I didn't want to do the binding, and I was like, can I count it as a finished object if I don't do the binding?
Yeah,
and Anne said yes.
Yeah.
But then I finished my second distracting project, so I had to go. I was like, well, I don't have anything else to sew, and my sewing machine is set up.
It was kind of early in the afternoon.
I will do the binding, so I did the binding.
It's truly finished now, though.
It's really done. It should have snaps on the front. I think I'll put the snaps on, and I want to put a little zipper pull, because it's just got one of these little tiny plastic zippers on it.
I see the snaps as very optional on those pockets.
I think it would be really cute with little white snaps, though.
Wouldn't it be cute if you found like a little car charm?
Something like
to
that,
attach to, so he pulls the car and it's like it's going down the road with a zipper.
Something like that. I need to find something to make the little zipper pull.
You have a good source for zipper pulls, don't you? Or you just find good ones?
I've got a couple different places where I get zipper pulls.
And you can go to like Michael's and look in the jewelry,
the
like charms section, and find something too.
That is one of the most ambitious, hardest things I've made, is that pattern.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard in that there aren't that many pieces,
Yeah.
and the construction's relatively straightforward.
It's just something about how it comes together.
Yeah, when you have to sew on the gusset, and the fact that in this particular pattern, I think the fact that they're rectangle pieces and not curved makes it a lot harder. Because I've made duffel bags like this that have the big gusset that go around the outside and you attach a front and a back. But if it's a curved edge, you clip it and you ease it, and it just makes it a lot easier, I think. But it is a fun project. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not...
Highly recommend.
Yes, I do recommend it, but it is a little bit challenging. It's a fun project in that you get to have fun with the fabrics. You know?
Mm-hmm.
The original pattern, I think she had even a fourth fabric that you put on the handle, but I didn't feel like buying or have the energy to pick out another thing.
Perfect together.
So I used the red from the pocket.
So like it took me 2 Christmases to finish the set for my family, and I made the mistake of like looking at all the other hacks people have done on it over the years, and so like I think I have to make another one still.
Yeah,
but it's gonna take a long time to like.
I've seen the hack where you add like the little hardware to the sides and add like a
I
full
love
shoulder
the side
strap.
pocket.
Yeah,
like because that like once you see that, like obviously those sides could have pockets.
Yes, I was talking to somebody the other day about patterns. And I told them, I was like, oh, you should go online and look it up. So, in case you didn't know, but if you have a pattern, like the cargo duffel, go on Instagram and type in a hashtag, the cargo duffel, and you're going to see about 1 billion renditions of most patterns that you want to make. And that's usually where I start when it's time to fabric shop, because then I'm like, oh, she did this cute thing, and she did the black on the bottom, or, whatever it is. Like endless inspiration for your project. So
Absolutely.
I made that.
Adorable.
Totally done, finished. Well, not totally, because I'll put snaps on it, but it's done.
It's done.
It's done. And I bought the fat quarters at the quilt store as a distracting project. I almost brought 2 projects with me to sew, but I didn't expect to get that done so quickly. So I bought fat quarters to make a baby quilt. And I don't want to talk about like the print, but the pattern I used was called Yellow Brick Road by Atkinson Designs. I remember that. It's a really easy quilt pattern. It's kind of like scrappy squares, like it's all rectangles and squares. It's very simple. It came together real quick. Like I think I made most of it while Karen was enjoying her afternoon nap.
Yep.
But it was really fun and satisfying. It took 6 fat quarters to make the baby size.
I know. We got back and I did a couple things, and then I just thought I'm taking it up. And when I woke up, she's like, almost done.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
sewing
I don't remember you even
together.
cutting it out.
She did that last night.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I did the cutting last night. When I was too tired to do the sewing, I ironed out my fat quarters and I cut my strips, because most of it's strip piecing, so that was pretty easy. So I made a whole quilt top today.
Woo!
And then I should have, while I was at the store, buy yardage of the same, because I wanted to use the same for the binding, and I didn't. But I went online and I found somebody on Etsy that was selling it, so I bought a half yard from someone on Etsy of one of the same prints. That'll be
That's
the binding. And then that's it. Those are the things that I've finished recently.
I think we did a good job on setting our expectations on this trip.
Yeah, I think so too. Because nobody has like a ton of things that they never got to or whatever. So that's good.
I got to touch everything that I brought.
Yeah.
I hate when, and also there's a lot to bring in.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I realize if I really think I'm going to get to this, fine. But if I don't know that I'm going to get to this, that's just one more thing to pack and unpack.
Right.
So let's be smart.
Well,
really, you worked on 4 crafts because you worked on your photography too.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because night photography, I don't have a fancy camera. It's got the lens that it's got, and it doesn't come off. I do have a fancy tripod that I was trying to fuss with in the middle of the night when it's dark. But, it's just, I mostly do really, really great photos on semi-automatic settings. And so it's been good to practice. And,
that's a whole skill.
And trying to do it at night, trying to get the right amount of light. And you really do need a tripod, because when that lens is open for 8 seconds.
Yeah, you gotta be real still.
That's an eternity.
No, you can't. I've got one where I tried to hold it, and then I jerked just slightly.
Just a tiny bit.
And the moon is now like
a nice little streak.
It looks like a glowworm.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was
Well, do we have obsessions?
I have a funny story to tell you real quick. I'm
Okay.
sure we have obsessions, but I've been sitting on this one.
Okay.
So Kevin and I were just jibber jabbering about something, and he's like, well, he was talking about your husband, Katie. He's like, I'll just call James and tell him that. I'm like, you don't have his phone number? Because I don't even have his phone number.
Uh-huh.
Which maybe we should exchange our spouse's phone numbers
probably
for
couldn't
emergency, right? This is occurring to me now.
Oh yeah, because we're all here. What happened?
Well, yeah. So,
whatever.
But anyway, you don't have James's phone number because I don't have James's phone number. And he says, so it's him and I in the living room.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's supposedly in bed. He's like, I do too. The three of us get together. We have a club. It's called Not More Fucking Yarn.
Oh my
Can
god.
we leave that?
Sure.
No,
bleep
we're
it.
gonna leave it. We're not. Beep, beep.
I
There's
was
a beep
gonna
after
edit
that.
it, but you literally
Editing,
said
Katie,
that.
go back in it. I'm not going to. Sorry.
I've never seen Anne go.
It's
Oh,
late.
I didn't mean to say
It's
that.
late.
Because I've been thinking about it for like a week to tell this joke, and I'm like, not another damn yarn or ball of yarn.
We're sorry if we offended
That's
anybody, but it's
hysterical.
late.
But that is what he
I'm not
said.
going back to edit.
Yeah, I only true facts here. So he says that, and I'm laughing so much. It's hilarious.
Uh-huh.
And then we hear Dante, who drags his feet going to bed, just laughing as loud as I am from his bedroom. At which nothing feeds Kevin's soul like belly
making your
laughs.
kids
Yeah,
laugh.
or no, he got me and he got
And
Dante.
him. Oh, that's
His
great.
soul is full. But I just wanted to, like, you guys should check your husband's
I didn't
wallets
know
for their
that.
membership club.
Okay, I will ask James. That's so funny. I want to know what he wanted to ask James about initially.
I think we were talking about about the park service because Kevin's brother had wanted
got
to do
it.
the park service, and it was something like that. Yeah,
That's funny.
but it was I don't even remember what it was
Oh
for
my
sure.
God, that's great.
Yeah, because I found out about their secret club.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah, you go home, you talk to those boys.
Okay, I will. That's great.
All week I've been thinking about editing that, and I obviously couldn't.
I liked it. Yeah.
It just came out so
Say the
fast.
word.
Boom,
It
it's
was
gone.
so
It's
funny.
out there.
Anne's face after she said it was like, oh no, I didn't mean to say that.
I've never seen her get embarrass herself, and I'm not embarrassed.
Oh no, I practiced in my head all day today. Okay, obsessions.
But
I'm
you know,
ready
it
for
has to be delivered a certain way to be funny. If you have to stop to
Kevin
bleep
would
yourself,
agree.
it would
Yeah.
just
He'd
mess
be
up
upset if I edited his
It's all about the
art.
timing of the joke.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with that.
And I'm usually terrible at that, so I'm glad I nailed it.
That's so funny. What are you obsessed with?
Huh. I don't know that I have an obsession, so I'm going to think about it.
You know, I also don't think I do either, but it could just be that my brain is tired.
Yeah.
I
And Karen will be ready.
actually am kind of
Yeah,
ready.
I love it.
Okay.
Usually it's the other way around.
Usually I can't think of anything, but I know that I have been really obsessively reading and listening to audiobooks. I mean, even more, I'm like consuming them. Forget about a diet. When I'm done with one, I'm on the next one. So I'm listening and reading to a series. Let me go to my library real fast. The Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. And so there's a trilogy. There's Shadow and Bone is book 1, Siege and Storm, Ruin and Rising. And so those are fun.
Did you talk about this when we did our book podcast, or did somebody else tell me about this?
You
I was going to start it.
You recommended it as my like in between book,
and
which
I did
yeah.
start. So I got through the first book before I let myself.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to get through it before the
I was
Netflix.
like, I've heard this before. Who told me this?
It was her, but it's good.
Before I got to the
advice.
Netflix, which just started on the 23rd, just before we. And so, so that was fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm like halfway through the 3rd book.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I just started.
It's been what 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks, and those are not the only books that I've finished. I'm like going through like three books a week.
Wow.
I can name it, and maybe it's not an obsession, but an obsession from Anne, one of yours.
Oh,
that song you showed us.
Oh,
Anne played us this song
Betty
today.
Hutton.
Yeah, called the Sewing Machine Song.
Oh, that's
that was
so
from
fun.
some sort of musical.
I still haven't even looked it up.
I'm gonna see if I can.
The sewing machine, a girl's best friend, or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna see if I can insert or play a clip of it at least
At
the end. I don't know if I have the skills to see if I can do that, but if I can, I will do that. If it's not there at the end, go on YouTube and look it up.
Yeah, it's the
but I will
sewing
try
machine
and
song.
put it at the end of the song or at the end of the podcast.
Maybe in the show notes or something we could put it.
I'll link to it if I can't put it at the end.
Yeah,
so
it's
adorable.
Very funny. It's hilarious. It's even better with the video.
Yeah,
so
that was us today when we were
the
sewing.
video. Well, I'm obsessed with my new game. I want to play it again. I think
Oh,
it's late.
yeah.
We played a game.
Arch Ravels.
Yeah,
Not Rivals, Ravels.
I don't remember the game company, but if you look for it, Arch.
It's very cute.
Ravels. It is really fun.
It's very tedious to learn.
I got to win.
Karen did win.
I lost real good.
We brutalized Katie in that game.
Had like
I was fair.
I had 113.75 and Karen had 115.
I just barely won, but whatever. Scoreboard, baby.
And Katie didn't total hers.
I had 45 points.
All right.
I didn't know that those points were going to count against me at the end.
We just kept
now
giving her these projects
I
that
think
count
maybe
against.
when we're done recording, I can stay up late enough to maybe play another round.
All right.
That'd be fun.
If you want to.
But that is why
it was very fun.
Okay, so Katie, that's sometimes when we got the card that says, take a yarn out of your stash and give it to somebody, that's why I gave you some yarn. Because I couldn't... Also, sometimes I had to give you the hard cards because I found that I was being nice to you and I was giving hard cards to Anne, and I just needed to be fair.
I was obviously your competition. I was only 1.25 points behind you.
Rude.
So I could have taken you down more if I just not held back.
I'm used to losing strategy games like that, so it really doesn't bother me.
It's not much. Okay, the great thing about this game is it's not much
But
strategy.
I was only telling the truth.
There's a little strategy in that you have to decide: am I going to shop for yarn, or am I going to shop and craft, or am I just going to craft
projects? And you get points based on the amount of projects you make and the combos.
And if you make enough crafts together, you can turn them in for collection and get more points.
It was very fun. Highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's probably most fun to play with your knitting friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
But if you can convince your family or friends that don't knit to play with you.
Yeah, I think
it would also be fun.
Like I tried it. I pre-learned it with Dante and Bella. There's a whole long drama of Dante being a 13-year-old.
And there's some stuff even in playing that we learned.
Yeah.
And we're like, at the end, that changes the game. We could have done something different.
And he wants to play again.
Yeah.
So he's been asking to play again.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we've talked for 2 hours of all the
Again?
fun we've had.
How did we do that?
Yeah. But I guess this is the end. So, what book are we reading right now? We're reading The Joy Luck Club.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if you want to join our book club, that episode about the Joy Luck Club will be out mid-May. What month are we in? This is the May episode. So mid-May, that episode will be out. Also, check your newsletter. Well, you probably already have if you are listening to this because the May newsletter came out. There's lots of good stuff in there, so read that. And I think that's it. So we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
I got work to get out. How can I get it out with somebody popping up behind my back all the time? Popping here, popping there, popping out to get a drink of water, then popping out to... What do you think I'm running here, a coffee clutch? Now bear down on them machines.
Yeah. What do you think I'm running here? Coffee clutch or something, huh? How can I get the work out with you girls popping up and down all the time? Popping up for this and popping up for that and popping up for the honey-gunny. Now bear down on the machines. Ah, the sewing machine, a girl's best friend. If I didn't have my sewing machine, I'd have come to no good end. But a bobbin' and pedal and wheel the wheel by day. So by night I feel so weary that I never get out to play. Oh, the sewing machine, a friend in need. If I didn't have my sewing machine, a wicked life I'd lead. But I bobbin' and pedal and dream about romance. So by night I feel so weary that I never get out to dance. Oh, the sewing machine, my pride and joy. If I didn't have my sewing machine, I'd have married James McCoy. But I bobbin' and pedal, and that's the end of Jim. 'Cause by night I get so weary I don't even look good to him. a boss, he looks like a horse. His name's Joe Goit. I'm willing to bet the wages I get that face of his must hoit. While I'm bobbing and pedal a pedal, he keeps his eyes on me. Oh, I've never had a nightmare where I didn't meet Mr. Gee.
So, you think I was talking to my half, huh? Just for that, you're all docked a half day's pay. How do you like that?